Beloved, wherever you are, let your heart be open. For tonight we stand before the God who restores, the God who calls forth forgotten seasons and resurrects buried potentials, the God who says, I will restore the years that the locust has eaten. Not the days, not the moments, the years. Every year you lost to fear. Every year you lost to wrong decisions. Every year you lost to sickness, failure, confusion, delay, or spiritual attacks. Tonight, by the mercy of God, they are being restored. Time is a gift too powerful to be wasted. And for many, life has taken more than it has given. But hear this, your destiny is not at the mercy of your past. The one who created time can step into your timeline and rewrite your outcome. As we pray, may the mantle of speed come upon you. May divine alignment lift you. May cycles of delay break. May every wasted season be replaced with unprecedented favor. Tonight, the hand of restoration rests upon you. Your time is redeemed. Your years are restored. Your destiny is accelerated. And your story begins again in power, in grace, and in victory. The God who restores is not merely the one who gives back what was stolen. He is the one who steps into the very timeline of a person's life and rewrites the story with mercy, wisdom, and supernatural speed. When we speak of restoration, we are not referring to human compensation or emotional comfort. Restoration is a divine intervention where God returns what was lost, multiplies what was reduced, heals what was broken, and resurrects what seemed permanently buried. Many people walk through life believing that once a season is gone, it can never return. They look at wasted opportunities, failed relationships, lost resources, shattered dreams, and years spent in confusion, and they conclude that nothing can be done. But the truth is that destiny is not governed by the limitations of time when the God of restoration is involved. He is the same one who caused dry bones to live, who turned the shame of nations into honor, who restored kings from the wilderness back to the throne, and who redeemed men from the prisons of their own mistakes. He does not simply repair, he makes brand new. This God observes every tear shed in silence, every dream abandoned out of fear, every season that passed without achievement, and every moment where life moved forward, but destiny remained stagnant. He sees the years eaten by wrong associations, the years swallowed by ignorance, the years lost to spiritual attacks, the years wasted in environments that drain potential, and the years destroyed by the consequences of one's own decisions. Yet, he does not look upon these years with condemnation. He looks upon them with a determination to restore. Where men see impossibility, he sees an opportunity to reveal his nature. His restoration is not partial or symbolic. It is complete, total, and transformative. When God restores, he goes beyond merely giving back the exact thing that was lost. Sometimes he restores by giving better, higher, stronger, and more glorious than what was originally there. Restoration is part of God's covenant character. He is committed to ensuring that destiny is not swallowed by the mistakes or delays of the past. Even when the enemy has seemingly gained advantage, God has the power to overturn the verdict. In the eyes of God, no year is ever wasted beyond redemption. What you thought was gone forever is still under his authority. The same God who created time can redistribute it, compress it, multiply it, and pour back into your life what seemed irretrievably lost. He does not restore to the level of your pain. He restores to the level of his greatness. He does not restore according to your limitations. He restores according to his abundance. When God restores, he restores honor to those who were humiliated, courage to those who were broken, identity to those who lost themselves, and vision to those who walk blindly. He brings back confidence, focus, clarity, passion, and purpose. He restores families, businesses, ministry callings, relationships, spiritual fire, and the dignity of a person's life. He rebuilds what was destroyed, lifts what was trampled, and resurrects what was fading away. This is the God who does not merely fix. He specializes in renewing what age, pain, circumstances, and the enemy tried to bury. Those who encounter the God who restores never remain the same. Their testimony becomes a revelation of what God can do with a life that looked wasted. What seems impossible for man becomes simple before him. With one act of grace, he can make a decade of loss bow before a single year of divine restoration. He compresses time so that what you should have achieved in years becomes possible in months. He restores opportunities, opens doors that were long shut, aligns destiny helpers, and breathes upon efforts that once produced nothing. This is the wonder of the God who restores. He does not just bring back what was lost. He brings you into a future far more glorious than what you imagined. Time is one of the most misunderstood and underappreciated resources in a person's life. Many treat it as though it were endless, as though the ticking of the clock carries no weight, as though a single day lost has no consequence. But time is far more valuable than gold, influence, or even talent, because time is the framework within which destiny unfolds. Every second, every minute, and every hour carries the potential to shape outcomes, open doors, and determine the trajectory of a person's life. When time is wasted, the opportunity to walk into divine purpose is diminished. When time is redeemed, life accelerates and destiny manifests at a speed beyond natural comprehension. There is a spiritual dimension to time, and it is one that most people ignore. Time is not merely a measure of hours or days. It is a divine resource given to humans to cultivate, to steward, and to maximize. To squander it is to delay destiny. To neglect it is to invite stagnation. And to mismanage it is to allow the enemy to steal your future. Many people fail to understand why they feel behind, why their peers seem to advance faster, or why, despite effort and toil, results remain delayed. The truth is that time, unlike material resources, cannot be replenished once it is lost. A wasted year cannot be bought back with money. A lost season cannot be reclaimed by effort alone, and days spent in distraction or complacency represent moments of life that will never return. Yet the God who restores is also the God who redeems time. He can step into seasons of delay, procrastination, misjudgment, or loss and restore productivity, favor, and acceleration. Redemption of time is a spiritual principle. It requires divine intervention, strategic focus, and alignment with God's purposes. It is more than catching up. It is transforming what seemed lost into abundance, turning setbacks into setups, and compressing what should have taken years into months or even weeks. The stewardship of time is a reflection of spiritual maturity. Those who recognize its value understand that every hour, every task, and every moment matters. They prioritize wisely, invest in relationships and activities that matter for eternity, and align their daily actions with their destiny. The Lord expects his children to be intentional with the time he has given. He does not reward laziness, carelessness, or neglect. Yet even when time has been mismanaged, divine restoration is possible. The Lord can accelerate seasons, restore lost years, and multiply the results of a single day's work. This is why prayer and spiritual focus are so important. Through prayer, guidance, and revelation, believers can see where time has been stolen, where moments have been wasted, and where divine strategy is needed to redeem it. Time is also a battlefield. There are forces that seek to delay progress, to steal joy, to diminish creativity, and to trap potential. Procrastination, distraction, fear, sickness, financial pressure, and spiritual attacks all operate to consume the hours without producing fruit. But when one understands that time is a spiritual resource, the perspective changes. Every hour becomes precious. Every day becomes an opportunity. And every moment becomes a seed that can grow into extraordinary results. Redemption of time is not just about recovering the past. It is about seizing the present and creating a future filled with favor, achievement, and divine acceleration. To redeem your time is to reclaim your life. It is to ensure that your efforts align with purpose, that your days produce results, and that no season of potential is wasted. The Lord promises that when you honor him with your time, he will multiply it. He will turn hours into breakthroughs, weeks into milestones, and months into testimony. Understanding that time is a spiritual resource shifts everything. For the God who restores and redeems is ready to make every moment count, to reverse delays, and to accelerate you into the fullness of your destiny. The mystery of divine speed is one of the most profound realities in the life of a believer, yet it is often misunderstood or overlooked. Divine speed is not simply moving faster than others or rushing to achieve goals through human effort. It is a supernatural acceleration that occurs when God intervenes directly in the affairs of a person's life, compressing time and multiplying results in ways that defy natural understanding. While man may spend years struggling to reach a level of accomplishment, divine speed allows a single season to produce the results of several years. It is the principle by which God can take a delayed project, a stalled relationship, or a seemingly wasted opportunity and turn it into an unprecedented breakthrough. This speed is not accidental or based on human ambition. It is entirely a function of grace, divine timing, and alignment with God's will. It is the evidence that the Almighty is not bound by human limitations or the conventional pace of life. Many people live frustrated because they measure progress by the standards of the world or by comparison to others. They fail to understand that divine speed is not about competing with anyone, but about allowing God to fulfill his promises in his time. When divine speed enters a life, it accelerates seasons that would have naturally taken decades. Doors that seemed permanently closed suddenly swing wide open. Opportunities that were once invisible suddenly become visible and access. Sibo. Relationships, finances, careers, and destinies that appeared stuck suddenly move forward with exponential growth. This is why understanding divine speed is crucial for anyone seeking restoration or redemption of time. Without it, a person can labor endlessly and achieve little, but with it, even a single moment can create generational impact. Divine speed operates in a spiritual realm, and it is often initiated by obedience, prayer, and alignment with God's purpose. It is the kind of acceleration that cannot be manufactured through human effort, manipulation, or shortcuts. The Bible is full of examples where God compressed time for his people. Joseph went from prison to palace. In what seemed like a moment, the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, leaving the pursuing army behind, and kings and prophets were elevated rapidly because God determined that their season had come. In each case, the acceleration was not random. It was purposeful, targeted, and aligned with divine timing. Understanding this teaches us that divine speed is both a gift and a responsibility. It demands faith, readiness, and spiritual sensitivity, because when God moves quickly, every decision and every action carries eternal weight. Those who experience divine speed often find themselves in situations that surpass human expectation. Challenges that once appeared insurmountable are overcome with ease. Past delays, failures, or lost years are overtaken by sudden advancement. Divine speed brings alignment between effort and result in ways that appear miraculous to the human eye. It is not about haste. It is about God's perfect timing moving into one's life and compressing the seasons of delay, stagnation, and struggle. For anyone seeking restoration or redemption, divine speed is essential because it ensures that lost time does not remain lost forever. Instead, it becomes a catalyst for accelerate, destiny, multiplied favor, and unprecedented opportunities. Divine speed also carries a spiritual principle. It magnifies the glory of God in the life of the believer. When breakthroughs happen rapidly, when years of delay are overtaken in a short season, it becomes clear that only a supernatural hand could have caused it. It is a reminder that God is not limited by human constraints, and it strengthens faith in his ability to restore and redeem. Those who embrace divine speed understand that waiting is not wasted. Preparation is key, and alignment with God's purpose allows him to move swiftly and powerfully. When the God of restoration steps in, 1 year can achieve what 10 could not, and a single day can carry the fruit of a lifetime. Divine speed is the manifestation of God's grace on time, a supernatural acceleration of destiny that transcends natural laws. It is a reminder that with God, the lost seasons can be recovered, the delayed opportunities can be seized, and the years that seemed wasted can be overtaken by blessings, honor, and fulfillment. Every destiny faces forces that seek to delay, weaken, or even destroy it. And the longer a person walks in life, the clearer it becomes that nothing in this world operates without opposition. These forces come in many forms: cycles of failure, spiritual attacks, sickness, financial stagnation, broken relationships, and invisible pressures that seem to drain energy, focus, and purpose. They are designed to steal what rightfully belongs to you, to waste your time, and to create seasons of frustration and limitation. Yet, the moment a person recognizes that life is a battlefield and that these forces are not random but strategic, the path to overcoming them becomes clearer. Every attack on your progress, every delay in your plans, and every obstacle that seems insurmountable can be confronted and broken through prayer, faith, and alignment with the purposes of God. These breakers of delay and stagnation are not just external, they are often internal as well. Fear, doubt, procrastination, indecision, and spiritual complacency can act as allies to the forces that wish to waste your life. They slow your steps, distort your vision, and rob you of divine opportunities. But understanding that there is a supernatural power capable of breaking these cycles changes everything. The forces that steal time and delay destiny are relentless. They attack with subtlety and often without warning, targeting the very areas where potential is highest. You may have a calling, a gift, or a vision that feels ready to flourish, yet these forces will attempt to create a delay, a blockage, or an unnecessary detour. Many people fail to recognize that the very things holding them back are spiritual battles, and because of this, they remain stuck, blaming circumstances, luck, or even people. But the truth is that there is a higher authority, a God who specializes in breaking delays and overcoming stagnation. When the spiritual power of God intervenes, cycles of failure are shattered, bottlenecks are removed, and the pathways that were once blocked are opened with clarity, favor, and acceleration. It is important to understand that breaking forces of delay is not just about praying for change. It is about invoking the presence, wisdom, and power of God to intervene where human effort has failed. Many spend years trying to solve problems with their own strength, yet the enemy ensures that without divine involvement, the result is minimal. Prayer is the key that unlocks the supernatural, and persistent, faith-filled intercession attracts divine solutions to human problems. When you engage in this kind of spiritual warfare, what once seemed impossible becomes possible. What was delayed becomes immediate, and what was stagnant begins to flow with momentum. Every cycle of frustration, every season of stagnation, every period of delay can be broken and replaced with divine acceleration, growth, and breakthrough. Those who understand the power to break delays also recognize the importance of alignment. It is not enough to pray in desperation. One must align their life, actions, and priorities with God's will. Restoration and acceleration only come when preparation, obedience, and faith meet divine intervention. The enemy may attempt to slow your steps, but the God who restores and redeems time is always greater than the forces of stagnation. Every limitation that once held you back can be shattered. Every lost opportunity can be recovered. Every delayed blessing can arrive, and every stalled dream can move forward. The breakers of delay and stagnation operate in the spiritual realm, but their effects are fully visible in the natural. They manifest as sudden promotions, healed relationships, restored health, financial breakthroughs, and accelerated progress in every area of life. When these forces are activated through prayer, faith, and obedience, the results are unmistakable. Life that was once slow begins to move at supernatural speed. Lost time is recovered, and the cycles of loss are replaced with seasons of gain. Those who understand this principle learn to wage war against delay with strategic prayer, persistent faith, and unwavering trust in God's ability to overturn any obstacle. No matter how long the season of stagnation has lasted, no matter how many years seem wasted, divine power can break through, redeem time, and restore purpose. Restoration flows most powerfully when life is aligned with the principles and purposes of God. And this alignment is often the hidden key that determines whether a person experiences breakthrough or remains trapped in cycles of delay. Alignment is not just about timing. It is about positioning every area of your life in harmony with God's wisdom, instructions, and divine plan. When your actions, decisions, and priorities match the design God has for you, restoration comes naturally, effortlessly, and with extraordinary results. Conversely, when there is misalignment, when choices are made based on impulse, fear, or human understanding rather than divine guidance, progress is slow, opportunities are missed, and blessings are delayed. The process of aligning with God is a spiritual discipline requiring prayer, obedience, and sensitivity to the leading of the Spirit. It demands that a person be intentional about every decision, every relationship, and every commitment, because even one area of misalignment can stall the restoration process and hinder the redemption of time. Alignment creates an environment in which God's power can operate without restriction. Just as electricity requires a closed circuit to flow, divine blessings require lives that are correctly positioned to receive them. When a person's heart, mind, and actions are aligned with God, restoration is not just possible, it becomes inevitable. This alignment affects every aspect of life: finances, relationships, career, spiritual growth, health, and purpose. A misaligned person may experience temporary blessings, but these will rarely be lasting or fully transformative. On the other hand, alignment ensures that restoration is holistic, comprehensive, and eternal in its impact. It is the spiritual posture that allows God to multiply resources, heal brokenness, restore lost time, and bring back years that were consumed by delays, mistakes, or oppression. The principle of alignment is closely tied to obedience. Many people desire restoration and divine acceleration, yet they resist the instructions or leading that God provides. They want results without following His guidance, speed without preparation, and breakthroughs without discipline. This misalignment creates friction between human desire and divine purpose, slowing progress and even inviting unnecessary setbacks. Restoration and alignment are inseparable. One cannot occur without the other. When obedience meets opportunity, God steps in to restore with speed, precision, and excellence. He brings back what was lost, often exceeding what was initially taken, because the restored life is now operating according to divine design rather than human limitation. Alignment also impacts the spiritual battles that accompany restoration. Forces of delay, stagnation, and opposition are naturally drawn to areas of misalignment. They seek to exploit inconsistencies, weaknesses, and distractions to prevent breakthroughs. However, when a person is fully aligned with God, these forces encounter a barrier they cannot penetrate. The enemy cannot hold back what God has decreed, and divine restoration becomes unstoppable. Alignment strengthens faith, sharpens vision, and creates the right conditions for divine acceleration. It ensures that every effort produces maximum fruit, every prayer yields measurable results, and every lost opportunity is replaced with multiplied favor. Ultimately, alignment is the secret to sustained restoration and long-term success. Restoration is not just about recovering the past, it is about creating a future in which every season produces more than expected. When life is aligned with God's will, the years that were lost are recovered, wasted seasons are transformed into testimonies, and divine favor accelerates progress. Alignment guarantees that the restored life remains permanent, that growth continues without unnecessary interruption, and that every step taken honors God and fulfills destiny. The process may require reflection, correction, and submission, but the reward is unmatched. A life where time is redeemed, purpose is restored, and divine blessings flow without hindrance. The realm of new beginnings is where God's power becomes most evident. A place where past failures, losses, and disappointments no longer dictate the trajectory of a person's life. Every restoration is inherently a new beginning, because when God steps into a situation, he not only repairs what was broken, but also establishes what was never achieved. The lost years, the missed opportunities, and the seasons of stagnation are transformed into the foundation of a fresh start, a launch pad for accelerated destiny. This is the wonder of divine restoration. It does not merely replace what was taken, it elevates it, multiplying results and opening doors that were previously unseen. Many people live in the shadows of their past, believing that because a season was wasted or a dream delayed, they are doomed to repeat the same cycle. Yet, the God who restores is a God of beginnings. Each restored year is not just a continuation of what was lost. It is a divine reset, a chance to walk in unprecedented favor, clarity, and purpose. New beginnings require a shift in perspective. One cannot embrace a fresh start while clinging to regret, self-blame, or fear. God calls for faith, vision, and a readiness to step into the future he has prepared. This realm is not limited by human expectation. It operates in the supernatural. He brings opportunities that were never available before. Relationships that were once closed become open, and talents that were dormant are awakened to fulfill purpose. Every aspect of life, spiritual, financial, emotional, relational, and vocational, is touched. The past may have been marked by struggle, but the future is defined by divine promise. New beginnings are not accidental. They are intentional acts of God's favor, strategically designed to establish the believer in a higher place than ever before. In this realm, God also restores courage and passion. Many times, lost years are accompanied by discouragement, fear, and doubt. People stop believing in themselves and the potential of their destiny. But a new beginning restores vision and determination. It ignites the fire that was once dimmed and equips the individual to take bold steps that were previously unimaginable. It is a season where the limitations of yesterday are replaced by the possibilities of today. Divine restoration ensures that every step forward is not tentative but confident, supported by the wisdom and guidance of the Creator. It is in this space that one begins to experience life in abundance, where efforts are fruitful, decisions are aligned with purpose, and success is multiplied beyond what was lost. The realm of new beginnings also impacts relationships and influence. God restores connections, establishes mentorships, reconciles broken bonds, and positions the believer to influence lives positively. What was once chaotic or unproductive is now organized and purposeful. The environment shifts, opportunities increase, and every move is strategically guided by divine wisdom. This is why new beginnings are inseparable from restoration. The restored life is a launching pad for destiny, not just a return to a previous state. Every restored year Every recovered moment and every redeemed opportunity becomes a building block for something greater than what was originally imagined. The realm of new beginnings is a call to embrace faith over fear, action over hesitation, and hope over despair. It is an invitation to step boldly into the life God has prepared, knowing that restoration is not the end, but the beginning of accelerated favor, multiplied opportunity, and unprecedented achievement. Those who enter this realm experience the fullness of God's promise. Lost years are recovered, wasted seasons are redeemed, and the future becomes brighter, richer, and more impactful than anything the past could suggest. In this place, destiny is not merely restored, it is transformed, elevated, and propelled into extraordinary fulfillment. Beloved, as we bring this message to a close, remember this: your past does not determine your future. Your mistakes do not define your destiny, and the lost years are not lost forever. The God who restores is at work in your life even now, rewriting your story, redeeming your time, and turning every setback into a setup for supernatural favor. Every moment of stagnation, every period of delay, every season of frustration can be transformed into testimony, breakthrough, and acceleration. Tonight, as you step forward in faith, release the weight of regret, forgive yourself for the time wasted, and embrace the future God has prepared. Align your heart, your actions, and your vision with His purposes. Walk boldly into the realm of new beginnings, where lost years are restored, wasted seasons are redeemed, and divine acceleration propels your destiny to heights beyond imagination. Do not allow the enemy to deceive you into believing that recovery is impossible. What was delayed will manifest, what was broken will be healed, and what was lost will return multiplied. The God who restores is faithful, powerful, and able to redeem every single moment of your life. Your story is not over. It is only beginning again, in favor, in breakthrough, and in victory. Step into your restored life today. Declare with your mouth, believe in your heart, and act in faith. The years that seem lost are coming back. Your time is being redeemed, and your destiny will be fulfilled in abundance. This is the promise of God, the certainty of His word, and the power of His presence. Amen.